What's going on, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Tackle Tuesday here on Joe Bob's Bass. Thank you all for tuning in as usual. Today, guys, we're talking about a rod. I've realized that there's several rods in my arsenal that we haven't talked about yet. Some of them are expensive rods, some of them are very technique-specific rods, and some of them are more budget-friendly rods, right? Today's kind of in the middle. This is a brand that, if you're watching this, maybe you're thinking about buying one, maybe you've heard of them, maybe you have one, but it's definitely a brand that is not the big ones, right? It's not Shimano, it's not a G Loomis, it's not, any of the big brand names, all right? It is a Handing M1, okay? This is a rod this is actually my second Handing rod, and we'll get into that in a minute, but this is the Handing M1 C731H, so it is a 7'3" heavy one-piece rod, okay? This rod, I haven't kind of determined exactly what I'm going to use it for yet, but the experience that I've had so far with it has been using it for mag draft, specifically the 6-inch mag draft, catching smallies on the river, and boy, oh boy, guys, I was pleasantly surprised with it again. I shouldn't have been that surprised because the other Handing rod that I've got up there on the wall is a 7.6 heavy. It's got a little bit longer handle. It's got a cork handle. It's different. This one is the M1. That one up there, the top one there, is the Magic L. We'll kind of compare them both. But really, guys, this one is 7'3". Lure rating is 3/8 to 1.5 ounces. Okay, so it's definitely on that heavier side, and it is stiffer. It for sure is stiff. I opted for the one piece because there's, in my opinion, the only downside to two-piece rods is that every once in a while that upper half will slightly turn, whether it's on a hook set or whatever, and I don't think it's ever going to affect you losing a fish or anything like that, but they're great for travel. They're great for throwing in the car. They're great for keeping in the trunk, keeping in the back seat, and going places, right? As far as like sensitivity and all that stuff goes, the other Handing rod that I've got up there is a two-piece. Feels just as good, just as quality as this. This one, the M1, they do offer in a two-piece. The two-piece, I believe, is like anywhere from like $60 to $75, depending on which one you get. And this one piece is a little more expensive. Obviously, it's a bigger blank and all that stuff. So it is about $100 for the one piece. Okay, but just a couple, like the main points, I guess, on this rod. It looks cool, right? It's got some kind of carbon fiber spiral kind of scaling there in this one little section of this rod above the handle. Here you've got this logo and all this stuff. It's got kind of that bright, almost like a chartreuse, not a bright green, but some of those accents there, like on the reel seat as well. Okay, but then yeah, guys, the reel seat and the screw, the lock, I guess, I don't even know what you call this, the reel seat that cinches it down is super good quality. It feels great. It's metal. It's not going to break. It's not going to bend, okay? The foam grips and just the shape of the handle is something that I was a little skeptical of. The hand part where you're going to be holding the rod is kind of this EVA foam, but it's also like not just flat, right? It's not, or not just rounded, I should say. It's got kind of those finger or pistol grip kind of thing almost on there, right? And then the butt is more so that carbon fiber and kind of this cool shape. I mean, it's just really comfortable. It's incredibly light, guys. I've got this paired with the KastKing Sharky 3 for now. Again, not super set on what I'm going to be throwing on it this season, but this is what I was just using on the river, and it did fantastic, okay? The one thing I think that Handing may have overlooked is right here on the handle, it says all-purpose finesse. Now, this is a 7.3 heavy. It is not an all-purpose finesse rod, so I'm not sure if that's just what they put on all their rods, but I think that should have said something else. A lot like the St. Croix rod, the Mojo Bass 7.5 that I reviewed a while back. That one on there, it says St. Croix and then it says Froggin Flippin', right? All their rods, or at least their older ones, had those kind of one or two techniques that they're great for. This being an all-purpose finesse rod, I don't know about that. I would say it's definitely it's a heavy, right? So this is going to be a great frogging rod. It's got a great backbone, guys. I'll try to throw in the clip here too of me setting the hook on the smallie on that mag draft. I mean, just a great bend to it. It's nice and parabolic. It's got a nice fast tip. I mean, I'm just, again, overly impressed with the quality that Handing rods and products have been for their price tag, okay? So if you're thinking about getting it, I definitely would highly recommend it. Now, if we compare it to something that's a pretty similar price, right? If this retails about $100, my St. Croix Bass X here is like, I think I spent 125 on it, brand new. So only a little bit more. And I mean, I'm still taking the St. Croix, hands down, right? But for the price, especially even their cheaper stuff, right? Now let's kind of compare to this, the Magic L that I've got here. This one is, like I said, the 7.6 heavy 2-piece. So it comes apart right here. You can kind of see that notch there where that comes apart. Again, have not had an issue with this. I've landed some plenty big fish with this. And this one on here, I think it says grams. Yeah, lure weight is 15 to 40 grams, which I think, again, is about 1.5 ounces. Don't correct me if I'm wrong, or feel free to. I don't care. But I think it's a little, sometimes lure ratings are not precise, or they're not just as accurate as maybe they should be. And sometimes you can stretch it, and sometimes rods are rated for a little more than you might be comfortable throwing on. This one, I think, is underrated, meaning I've thrown 2-ounce baits on this thing, guys, and it's handled them perfect. It's got almost no give. When I'm throwing a 2-ounce in that tip, it's not keeled over, right? Just from the weight of the lure, right? So you can easily throw some bigger stuff on here, no problem. And I love this handle. This specific rod, the 7.6, and I made a video on this one too, but they discontinued this now. The Magic L, they still have the series. They tweaked the look of them and everything. They're not going to look exactly like this. They still have them. They're still the same great quality, but they don't have the 7.6 heavy anymore. So I'm sorry, guys, unless you find one used somewhere, I don't think you can just go out and order this one now. But I love this one for those smaller to medium-sized soft baits, right? I'm not going to be throwing anything huge on this. I'm not going to be throwing, a big Tyrant 10 or a Tyrant 8 even, or anything like that. But those mag drafts, even the 8-inch mag draft, I'll be throwing on this summer, and this thing will do absolutely fine, okay? So really, that's kind of my plan with this, the M1 here, is to throw those smaller soft swim baits, right? The mag drafts, the 5, the 6-inch mag drafts, and again, just kind of giving you the best look here that I can at this rod, at this handle. It's got this nice logo here. Hopefully you can see that at the bottom of the butt as well. It's got a hook keeper. I mean, the guides feel terrific, Fuji guides, and it's super, super quality, guys. You're paying $100 and you're getting $100 with the 1-piece. Again, the 2-piece is like $70, so saving a little bit of money there. And really, guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised with the Handing products. And now, this is not a sponsored video by any means, but I am a Handing fishing affiliate, meaning you can get 10% off on their website using the code JBB10, Joe Bob's Bass 10, but not Joe Bob's Bass 10, JBB10 at your checkout, okay? 10% off. They make some lures and stuff too, some different little kind of ABS swim baits, some different crankbaits, a couple whopper plopper type things, and I'm excited to see what more they do in the lure world, because they've got some cool ideas. I don't think the product is quite there yet, but guys, their rods really have impressed me. So check them out, guys. Go catch some fish. Cannot wait. The water is actually opening up. It's been pretty dang warm here in Minnesota the last month or so. So we've got open water on a lot of lakes, meaning crappie fishing and some of that early season fishing is just around the corner. Of course, we got to wait until about May 10th until bass and pike and all that is open season. But nonetheless, guys, we're hanging in there. We're getting through the Minnesota winter. Go catch some fish. We'll see you guys next week.